welcome to Fantasy Football Saturday with Calvin Dean. Man, we got a lot to go over, guys. A lot to go over. How about those Dolphins going into Philadelphia this coming Sunday? Wow, what a game that's going to be. I could see a high-scoring game on that one. Let's just go over each game, and then we can decide who to start and who not to start, okay, guys? Well, thank you so much for tuning in, and let's just get rocking. Well, we have Week 7, people. Yes, Week 7 is upon us, and the first game is the Jacksonville Jags against the Saints. Man, I mean, Jacksonville does look all that and then some. I mean, I was really happy to see the Saints come back. They have a much better offensive team. They're just gelling, and it's really hard to bring in a new quarterback, new team, putting all these people. And just the thing of it is that I saw some few things out there, like Olave quitting on a route. He quit on a route. It's near the end of the game. He quits on a route. I mean, that's a rookie for you, right? But ETN looked all that and then some. I mean, you got to start ETN all the time, guys. You just got to. Christian Kirk looks good. Ridley is one of those. Either he's going to have a great game or he's going to have a bust game, and he's not a good player to start. That's for sure. Let's get to it, guys. Let's go to the first game. We'll go over who to start and who not to start. We have the Lions going into Baltimore, playing the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens are tough at home, guys. They are just tough at home. They're giving away 3 points to the Lions, guys. The analysts really are high on the Ravens on this day. But you have to understand is that I would not start any, like Gus Edwards. No, do not start him. Do not start any Jason Hill. Don't start Hill on the Baltimore Ravens. Of course, I would start the infamous Lamar Jackson, of course. And then Zay Flowers. I would start Zay Flowers. And then also I would start Mark Andrews as well. So, I mean, of course, Mark Andrews is, one of the tight ends that you just have to start. I think he's going to have a big game here. I think he's going to have a big game. With the Detroit Lions, David Montgomery, he's still questionable. So you can't really play him because he's questionable. And they, maybe Reynolds, as a running back. But, St. Brown, that's for sure. Maybe Williams would be a sleeper in this game. I would definitely start Jared Goff. Jared Goff is, he's so consistent. I think he's going to have a great game. Laporta, he's a little banged up, so he's a question mark. Just make sure if you're starting him, if you start him, he's going to play and he's going to do well. But just make sure that he's going to play. So, have to check the injury gods to see if he's going to start it. That's one thing you really have to do, guys. You have to be able to know who's playing and who's not. Example, like the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks are at home playing against the Arizona Cardinals. This is the huge game for the number one running back of Seattle, Kenneth Walker III. I mean, Walker returned from a bye week and had 22 touches against the Commanders. He commanded 22 touches. I'll be okay. Anyway, and he quietly ranks in the top 10. Yes, the top 10 in usage this season, and finds himself in the best spot of this week. This week is his best spot. I think he's going to have a huge, huge game. And I'm telling you something. Arizona allowed the fourth most rushing yards to opposing running backs this season. He allowed 158 yards a game to Kyren Williams and that was last week. I mean, you just you have to understand who to sit and who not to sit. I would definitely play him. Rashad White is another one for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know about him. They're playing at home. They're playing against Atlanta. Atlanta is literally so good on defense. Literally, they are, guys. And I would not start Rashad White. They're fifth-ranked defense. Third-ranked defense. Wow. For the Buccaneers, and the fifth-ranked defense for the Falcons. The Buccaneers, I definitely would start Evans. Make sure he's healthy. Godwin, I would start him. Baker Mayfield, I think Baker will have a good game. I'm not the Ritter thing. I told everyone, Ritter. This game, it's going to be a tough one. You're going against a third-ranked defense in the National Football League. And Bijan Robinson should do well, because I'm in Algier. I would start Algier and Bijan, but be careful because the Buccaneers are noted to, stop the run. And they are literally the second-ranked football team in the National Football League that is for tackling. They're the second best tackling defense in the National Football League. So you have to watch that. The Buccaneers are the 30th ranked offense in the league, and it's all about the rushing. So I would not start Mr. White at all. And another surprise, I think, the Falcons. Now, I would start Kyle Pitts. Definitely start Kyle Pitts. And then one other, I would start Drake London. He's coming on. So those are the team. Like I said, sit any Buccaneer running back. You're gonna hate me. Going into the Raiders, going into the Bears. I would. The Bears' defense is terrible for number one. I don't know. Who knows if Justin Fields is going to start or not? I don't think he's going to start. I think the Raiders' defense is amazing. Enjoying my morning coffee. I love Saturday mornings, drinking coffee and talking to you guys. It's so much fun. And, we have the Raiders. Like I said, the defense is going to start the defense against the Bears. Start the defense if you have the Lions defense or the Ravens defense. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. They're just They're just both really pounders. But, it could... it could be the opposite. You never know. But with the Raiders and the Bears, definitely start the Raiders defense against the Bears. And like I said, I don't know if Justin Fields is going to start. So DJ Moore, you always have to start him because he's so good. He's so good. But then the other hand on the Raiders, definitely. Adams has been just he's been so pissed off as of late, and that he wants the ball. He wants the damn ball. I don't know. Devontae Adams, that's the whole thing with him. He's just, I don't like that. I don't know. I don't like to see that. Hey, throw me the damn ball, or he's putting everyone down. They're 3-3, right? And they win the game, and he complains that he didn't get the ball enough. And then he's like, I guess this is what he was talking to the media, and he was talking about how they had him come into, the Raiders to play him, to take his talent and go and rise to another level. Well, they went from Derek Carr to Jimmy G. Well, that's not much of a jump right there. I think both quarterbacks have the same quarterback ratings and everything. So Jimmy G has proven that he has brought his teams to the playoffs, yada, yada. But guess what? Jimmy G's out. his back. So, I mean, it's just, he's so inconsistent. He's never on the field. His availability. He's a great quarterback. I really think he is a great quarterback. I really do. But his availability, and that's unfortunate. I would start Josh Jacobs. That's a good omen. Devontae Adams. Myers. Start Myers, guys. Myers is so good. So start Myers, start the defense, start Adams, and Jacoby Myers is just so good. And with the Bears, maybe DJ Moore, maybe Foreman, but it's going to be one of those games, It's going to be one of those games. Which Bear team is going to show up? That's how I look at things. Which Bear team is going to show up, right? And then we have the Cleveland Browns going into the Indianapolis Colts. It used to be Baltimore, guys. The Baltimore Colts, they moved under the night and they became the Baltimore Ravens, right? So, but we have the Cleveland Browns going into Indianapolis after their win on the road. After winning not on the road, at home, against the 49ers. They look good. They stopped Brock Purdy. Purdy's, I believe, his PDR went down to 70s on that game. So Gardner Minshew did not start. Maybe Taylor. Not too many people on the Colts. But, Cleveland might develop the whole syndrome of playing against the 49ers the next game. It's really hard for all the players to come back and play at full strength because it's such a tough game to play against the Niners. You just get so banged up. I would definitely start Ford, and if you have Cooper, start Cooper. Deshaun Watson is questionable on this game, and if he does play, I would start Deshaun Watson. I think he'll have a good game. Like I said, the Colts. Which Colt team is going to show up? Will the real defense show up, or will the not real defense show up? It's a crapshoot with them. It's a crapshoot. They're 27th defense, guys. 27th, and you're going against the number one defense of the Browns. So, and if you have the Browns defense, start. They're going to score a few points, that's for sure. And so, like I said, start Ford, Deshaun Watson if he plays, Cooper, that's a good start, and maybe Taylor, or Moss, Zach Moss. I would start Zach Moss, even if it is the Cleveland Browns. You have to. He's one of those running backs. Like, should we start him? And he just comes. This is his year. I haven't seen him run like this ever. Well, he had the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills weren't heavy on the run, but man, the Colts, they know how to block for the run because of Taylor all these years, right? So, and Zach Moss is just loving it. So I would start him. Anyway, we have the Baltimore, we went over Baltimore. We have the Buffalo Bills. How about the Buffalo Bills, guys? 4-2 going into the Patriots, playing the Patriots 1-5. Bill Belichick's, his job is definitely in jeopardy. Definitely, I think it is. He's a great coach, don't get me wrong, but he's still searching for that 300th win, so... I just feel sorry for Bill, and I just feel so sorry for him. He needs that one victory, and he'll have the 300th victory. So, but he's going against Buffalo team that hasn't been playing well lately. But man, come on, man, the Patriots defense hasn't really been playing well. Their offense has just been atrocious. I don't see anyone on the Patriots to start. Maybe Stevenson, and I don't see many people I would start on the Patriots. I really wouldn't. Like I said, maybe Stevenson. That's about it. With the Bills, start everyone. I would start Josh Allen. Now the thing is Bill Belichick's infamous at this, right? Oh, I love this coffee, guys. Give me 1 second. Very good, very good. He's infamous on taking away their best player, and their best player is Stephon Diggs, right? So they're going to take him away, right? Their defense. That's what's going to happen because Bill always does these kind of things. So what would you do? Think about it. What would you do? Well, what I would do, I would start Gabe Davis. Because if they take away Stephon Diggs, there's Gabe Davis. And Gabe has been doing great this year. He's been really doing well since McKenzie left. He's been one of the main targets other than Diggs, right? And then they have Kincaid. And if Kincaid is actually starting, I'd play him. I would probably play maybe definitely James Cook. He's been doing great. And the Buffalo defense. So, that's pretty easy, guys. If it was the New England Patriots of the old, I would, it'd be a different story. But it isn't. Unfortunately, I feel sorry for Mac Jones. He's a better quarterback. Really, he is. But he has actually no one around him. I think Juju Schuster is going to be back for this game. I don't know how, I just don't understand. Maybe Bourne, if you have Bourne will do good on the Patriots. He might go off and score maybe 10, 12 points if you need a wideout. And you have him, I would probably start him. But that's about it on the New England Patriots. Then you have the Commanders going into the Giants. Now, with the New York Football Giants, grab, this Barkley. Barkley's going to do I think he'll have a good game. The Washington Commanders defense is so overrated. Could they be overrated? I don't know. Don't you think they're overrated? I think they're overrated. They have this great defense of line, and they don't sack. They have all this money, Slay, and I could go on and on that team, and they're just not playing to their liking, or they're not playing to their talents, so to speak. Like Young, and I don't know, guys. I don't understand that defense, because if I had that defense, I would be splitting more. Like Tyrod Taylor. Doesn't Tyrod Taylor, I like him better than Jones in there at this moment in time. He did have that one blunder on the goal line that, he got an earful from the coach on that one from Drabble. But he looks so much better, and I would just start Barkley. I think it'll be an exciting game. I would, just Robinson from the Washington Commanders, McLaurin, start him. Samuel's been doing good. Start him, I don't know if now, take this in account. The Commanders' quarterback, right, has been sacked more times than anyone in the NFL. 94 times, guys. 94 times. Guys, 94 times. Wow. I feel sorry for him. I really so sorry for him. It's not a good thing. Not a good thing. Poor Sam Howell. But I think Sam Howell's going to do a good job here. I think, believe it or not, I think this might be a high-scoring game. I really do. I think the Giants will sack Sam Howell, unfortunately, get a couple turnovers. I think the Washington Commanders probably do the same. I think it'll be a good game to watch. and and 3-3 against 1-5, and I was definitely, like I said, Samuel, Howell, Robertson, McLaurin. Giants defense, maybe, possibly, that's the whole thing. It might be a scoring game, but the defense might have a few sacks. They are going to have sacks. They're going to get to the Sam Howell, and then they might even have an interception or two. So it could be a high scoring game, but even though if it's a high scoring game, you could be, garnering a lot of points on the Giants' end. Already went over the Washington game, and then also we went over the Falcon game against the Bucks. The next game I'm going to go over is the Steelers and the Rams. Steelers are coming into Los Angeles, playing the Los Angeles Rams. Cooper Kupp, have to start him. Have to start Bakua. Have to start, Higbee. I would start Higbee. Matthew Stafford, start him. Pickett's, on the other hand, the wideout on Steelers, start him. Pickens, and Pickett, the quarterback, and Pickens, the wideout. Najee Harris, I don't know about him, guys. I just don't know. Maybe Warren as a sleeper. If you need someone that is, if you just have him, if he's on the waiver wire and you want to, and you're like, it's the 7th game, and you're like 1-5 or 2-4 in the league, you have to. That's the whole thing, guys. If you have a record like that, keep strong. The worst thing you can do is to start, oh man, all the guys I picked, I drafted, and then you start mixing and matching, start taking the players that you drafted and sitting them down and putting other players in, and that's when you start losing, because seriously, those players that got drafted first, usually at the end of the year or the beginning of in the middle of the year, they start playing well. So, and it's almost the middle of the year, guys. So just be aware of that. That's for sure. And now, that's the only people I would start on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The defense against the Rams, Matthew Stafford is going to just light it up. I think he's such a good quarterback. And I think with Cooper Kupp, he's going to have a huge game. It's going to be a good game. Yeah, hey, Steelers might keep up with the Rams on this one. They really might. Their secondary's hurting on the Rams. So I think it'll be a good game to watch. The next game, we have the Green Bay Packers going into the Denver Broncos. Sutton, believe it or not, this is a game that I could see Russell Wilson having a good game. Believe it or not. And I think Williams will have a good game for the Broncos. So start him. I would start Sutton. Why not? If you're down, if you're, like I said, if a 2-4 team right now, or you need something, pick up Russell Wilson. See, I think he'll do well. Or he'll be a bust. But you gotta shake it up if you're at that. But if you aren't, if you're like a 5-1 at this moment in time, or 4-2, no. Don't do it. Just start the person who you drafted. And then you have the Green Bay Packers on the other hand. I think Jordan Love will probably do well. I mean, you're playing against the Broncos, guys. Think about it. The Broncos defense is not the best. They're 32nd in the league. So, but I think they're playing better. That's the whole thing. I think they're playing better. They have been playing better. And, but I would start Jones. I think Jones will have a good game. Watson will have a good game. And I think Jordan Love will have a good game. So it's going to be an exciting game. I think it might be a high-scoring game, believe it or not. I think it might. And I think you'll see Russell Wilson having a really good game in this one. Believe it or not. Hate to say those kind of things because I'm not a big Russell Wilson fan at this moment in time, but I think he's going to have a big game. I really do. And then you have the Chargers going into the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, believe it or not, I mean, excuse me, this coffee is just so good. Oh, man, I love dark roasted coffee. Guys, I'm sorry. So you have the Chargers going into Kansas City. They always play Kansas City tough. Hay Bears always playing well against Kansas City. This is going to be a high-scoring game. I really think it will be. I think, Now, the thing is, with the Chargers, Williams not around. I mean, Palmer is going to be have a good game in this one. I don't think Quentin Johnson, I don't think Haber is really, he doesn't, I don't think he really trusts him. He had a lot of drops in preseason, if you watch preseason. And I don't think he's really high on him as much as everyone else was. So, I would not start him. I would start Eckler, of course. Now, what's great about this game, I think it's be a high-scoring game. But to see the Kansas City Chiefs, who did they go to? Rice. Get Rice. Start him this game, Rice. R-I-C-E, Rice on the Kansas City Chiefs. He's going to have a huge, huge game. And, of course, Kelsey. And I think it's going to be an exciting game. Very close game. Going to be a very close game. 2-3 Chargers against the 5-1 Chiefs in Arrowhead as well. The next game is going to be a barn baller. I mean, just, it's going to be a great game. Great game. Yeah, barn burner. Yeah, that's for sure, guys. Now, the Dolphins are going into Philadelphia. Now, you have to understand something. The Dolphins are 5-1, and the Eagles are 5-1. If you look at both their schedules, look at all the teams' schedule. The Dolphins have the easiest schedule in the National Football League. They just do. So you have to realize that, because when they actually met a real team, remember, the Buffalo Bills, and you remember how they looked. Tua was on his back. He was forcing the ball. There were turnovers. Well, guess what, guys? You're going into the Philadelphia Eagles. Their defense is really good. Really good. And now they have Ahmed. Now, I would probably pick up Ahmed on the Dolphins. I know they're going to hand the rock off to Mozart, but they have this slew of running backs that can just do well at any moment in time. And, Jalen is going to do well in this game. I would start him. You have to watch the Eagles' defense. And I think they'll be able to handle the Dolphins. But I think Jalen Hurts is going to pick apart the Dolphins' corners like Josh Allen did. And I think they'll do really well. I think that I would start almost everyone on the Eagles, including Goddard, right? And, you have to. And I would even, believe it or not, this is as tough. If I had the Eagles' defense, I might start them this game. That's a stretch, but I might start them. I don't have their defense, but I have the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm starting them against the Chargers, and that's going to be a high-scoring game. With the Dolphins, of course you're going to have to start Cheetah. He's going to get his catches, and Waddle, he's going to get his catches. He's been progressively getting better every game. So I would probably start him. Tua, I think it'd be like a 31-24 game, Eagles. I think it's going to be something like that, where They'll score like 3 touchdowns, so you have to. So how are they going to score 3 touchdowns? I think the Eagles might even have a pick 6 on this one. And the defense, like I said, going against the Dolphins, I think one of the touchdowns is going to come from the Eagles' defense. And I think they're really going to push the limit with the Dolphins' offense. Like I said, the Dolphins have had the weakest schedule out there, guys. And this is a big team. A big team, Think about it, This is a big team, Just think about it for a second. Okay, so they played the Chargers the first game. The Chargers defense is just atrocious. They beat them 36-34, all right? That was barely the Chargers, Think about that. They win. They play the New England Patriots. You know how bad the New England Patriots are, right? They only beat the Patriots 24-17, right? And then with the Denver Broncos, the last place football team when it comes to defense. The Denver Broncos is last, right? They beat them 70-20. The New England Patriots are like terrible defense, guys. Seriously, they're not that good. They just aren't. I think, they used to be good, and Bill Belichick and stuff, but in all reality, they're 12th. And they used to be top 5, they're not even in the top 10 defense-wise, So, and to only roll 24 points on the Patriots. But on the Denver Broncos, their Broncos are last. And guess what? And then at Buffalo, they finally meet a team, a good defensive team. And it proved it, 20-48. They lost. That's their first team. Now think about this, okay? The Los Angeles Chargers, what are they? Right? 2-3. What's the New England Patriots? 1-5. What's the Broncos? Keep going on. They're terrible. They're terrible, guys. Really, seriously, they're terrible. The Broncos are just horrendous, and they're just always losing, and they can never, stay in the game. I mean, seriously, they're 1-5, guys. 1-5. So think about it: 2-3, 1-5, 1-5. Then they meet a team that's a winning team. They get schmucked by them. Just 48 points Buffalo rolled on their defense. And then another team, 1-5. The Giants, 1-5. 31-16. The next game, Carolina Panthers haven't won a game all year. They were losing in the first quarter, but they won 42-21. Yeah, guys, all losing teams. Panthers 0-6. Giants 1-5. They lost to the Buffalo Bills, who are in first place. Could be in first place. And I'm just saying, look at the teams that they played. Look at them. I mean, maybe the Chargers they usually start gelling near the middle of the season. And they kept it close. But, I mean, and they barely beat the New England Patriots. They just killed the Denver Broncos. They finally meet a winning team in the Buffalo Bills, right? Finally. And, they're 4-2 Buffalo right now. So, I mean, it's their only, the winning, like I said, think about it, man. Think about it. Now they play, then the next game they play the Eagles, right? Now this is their second hardest game. Philadelphia, and then the next week they play the New England Patriots again. Oh my God. And then they play the Kansas City Chiefs week 9. Week 10 they have a bye. And then they play the Raiders. Okay, then they play the Jets, who could play them good, right? 12th week. And then they play the week 13 is the Commanders, right? Week 14 It gets even better. Tennessee. And then right near the end, they have 3 hard games. The Jets, the Cowboys, and the Baltimore Ravens. And then week 18, the Buffalo Bills. So virtually, the last 1, 2, 3, 4 games of the of the Miami Dolphins, the last 4 games are going to be tough for them to win. But I could see it. Think about it. Well, they're going to lose against the Eagles, so they'll be 5-2. They'll be 7-2 against the Patriots. They'll lose to Kansas City, so 7-3, and then and then they jump after the bye. The Raiders, they'll win, right? And the Jets, that's an iffy game. And they're at the New York Jets. So I think the Jets might win that game. And then you have the Commanders and the Tennessee Titans. Win-win. And then you have the Jets at home again. No, I think they might beat the Jets at home, right? But then the next 3 games, the Dallas Cowboys, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Buffalo Bills. The last game of the season. Wow. I see them losing all 3 games. That's what I see. But, the beginning of the schedule. So when you see these teams that are 5-1 and like Miami and stuff, you have to look into it. And you have to really know, why are they 5-1? Think about it. You have to wonder why. Look at their schedule. Look at the teams that they played. The only winning team they played was Buffalo, and they lost to them. So, and all these other teams, they don't have the defenses. Like I said, Broncos last, and then the Patriots near 12th. The Chargers near last. On and on. Like the Carolina Panthers 0-6. Think about it. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. See, guys. We have the studio laughing at the Miami Dolphins right now. Their schedule is still, like I said, the weakest. So, to fantasy football, I think the Eagles' defense is going to do well. I think the Dolphins will score around 20 to 24 points. I think the Eagles will score more. I think Jalen Hurts is going to take advantage of the weak corners of the Miami Dolphins. And I think they'll prevail. But on the other hand, when it comes to fantasy football, like I said, Ahmed, Tua, if you have him, I would start him. You have to start him, because the Eagles are going to take away their running, and they're going to force Tua to pass. So I think there's going to be a mistake or two there. Like I said, I think there's going to be a pick 6. So I would start everyone on the Eagles, and same with the Dolphins. I think it'll be a high-scoring game for fantasy lovers. The last game we have the San Francisco 49ers 5-1, and the Vikings 2-4. The Niners, smartened from their loss to Cleveland, and for everyone about Purdy's his QBR was terrible that game. But if you look at the average QBR for Cleveland, the quarterbacks, it's like 69, and he was like 74. So you have to be aware of that, and also he had a Montana-esque drive. When the last drive, 11 plays, he brought the team down. 11 plays, guys. Yeah, 11 plays. Yeah, there you go. That is for Brock Purdy, man. 11-play drive. And then the kicker missed a 41-yard field goal. All you Robbie Gould fans, you're just pissed off, aren't you? Anyway, Cleveland lost. Cleveland won, and San Francisco lost. But, in my eyes, I think San Francisco really won. That's just in my eyes. The kicker missed a 41-yard field goal. And this kicker was like, what was it, the third round as a kicker from Michigan? Anyway, he's a rookie. What can you do? Big game. The offense of the Niners are 8th. So McCaffrey's going to play. I heard Mason might be a good pickup on this game. I think Kittle. I think they're going to really go to Kittle. You are talking about the 18th ranked defense of the Vikings. So the passing on the Vikings, I don't think they're not going to be able to run against the 49ers. You're not going to. Their defense is 4th, and it's 4th for a reason. They just stop anyone, and their rush is just. I feel sorry for Cousins, but Cousins a good quarterback. And he always throws. He's really good. He can throw the rock when people are in his face. Which is interesting. I think Kirk Cousins is, he's underrated. Everyone says, Dak Prescott. Do you understand that Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins have the same stats? If you line it up, they have literally the same stats. And everyone's like so high on, and everyone bags on Kirk Cousins, but then, Dak Prescott to some is, the Messiah. The passing is 4th for the Vikings, right? The Niners passing is 12th. Now, the rushing, this is where it gets interesting, is the 49ers are 3rd and the Vikings are 27th. So I don't think, that's what I'm trying to get at, guys. The Vikings rushing is already 27th. What do you? Why would you think that they're going to do well against the Niners? Number 4 defense in the league. Should be number 1, but number 1 in a lot of categories, but overall 4th in the National Football League. So I don't know, man. I see them stopping the rush, and I see Cousins. He might throw a couple. You could stop him, totally stop him. There could be, there's no Jefferson. Osborne, pick up Osborne. I think Osborne is slot receiver. I think he'll have a good game. I think the Niners will really pay attention to Addison. They don't want him to get deep because he has speed. And they use Addison almost like a Deebo Samuels now. They've been using him on a lot of crossing, a lot of screens. So, got to watch out for that. The defense of the Niners are really good at covering stuff like that. They're the number 1 tackling team in football. And Tampa Bay Bucks, number 2. So, that's in tackling. So, I was just definitely, you fantasy football lovers out there, I would start CMC just to see, I think he'll play. Now I know Trent Williams will play. He came back into the game. They taped his ankle up, and he came back and played. The guy's a monster. And they're pissed. See how pissed he was when Moody missed the field goal? He almost threw his helmet. They played one hell of a game, and they had this amazing 11-play drive, Anyway, I would start CMC, Brock Purdy. I think Purdy will have a good game. I think like I said, I think they're going to really hit Kittle up on this game. Really, Ayuk is going to come huge. He loves Ayuk. So if you have Ayuk, start, Kittle start, Purdy start, San Francisco 49ers defense start. The Vikings, you maybe can get Osborne. He might be available. That's a sleeper. He's a sleeper for this game. None of their running backs for the Vikings. Addison, I think they'll be covering him up. But Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. He'll find some other wide receiver. He'll find some other people. It won't be as abundant. I think this game's going to be like I think the Niners are really going to try to work it this game. I think they'll defense will score probably a touchdown on this. I think their defense is going to have a few turnovers. I think it's going to be maybe like a 42 or I think they'll roll the points up because they're so pissed off. I want to be the Vikings in this game. I really wasn't. This is my lock of the week, guys. My lock is the San Francisco 49ers or the Vikings. Just think of the pissed off 49ers coming into town. Even though they are playing at home in the Vikings, but think about it. They're pissed. And the Vikings are down Jefferson. They don't have Dalvin Cook. I mean, you got Addison as a rookie. And you don't think the 49ers are going to take him out? Think about it. Yeah, I mean, and they're going to get to Cousins, and because they can't run. So what is the Vikings going to do? I think it might be like a close game in the beginning, like the first half might be close, really close. Like Vikings might even be like 13-10 or some stupid amount or something like that. But I think in the second half, I think the Niners are just going to keep grinding, and then they're gonna the Vikings are going to get back, and they're just going to have to drop back and pass, and that's when you're going to see like a pick six or a fumble in the end zone, something like that. The Niners are going to score a touchdown on defense this game. So, I would start the Niners defense. Purdy, Mason would be a good pickup, sleeper. CMC, I don't know how much they're going to give him the rock. I don't know if Deebo Samuels is going to play. You're going to have to check the injury. Right now, he's questionable. It is Saturday morning. So, like I said, check the injury report and see. And then we have, I would start Kittle, And like I said, Kirk Cousins might have a good game because he that's all he's going to be doing is passing. Think about it. And he'll find a way to make his yards. But unfortunately, his teams won't be beating the 49ers in this game. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in on Fantasy Football Saturday. I had fun. Talk to you guys next week. Have a great one. Thank you so much for listening.